guys, how are you guys today? Good? Okay? Tired? I know it's crazy out there right now. I wanted to get on here and just share something that God's been putting in my heart to talk about. I know that things are a little crazy right now. I know that everybody's kind of just stuck in quarantine, and for the people that have to go to work, that have to be out there, for the people that are truck drivers, teachers that are having to put packets together at the last minute, people that are working at gas stations, food industry. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. May God bless you guys. May God keep you guys safe and just be able to help you have all the patience in the world for everybody, with all the moods, going crazy. And with that said, I wanted to share something with you guys. I know that a lot of the time we're gonna have to be spending time together, everybody, the house and everything, husbands, wives, kids, teenagers. So, emotions can run high, they can run crazy. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about something that God was, talking to me in my heart today, this morning as I was praying. The only thing that could come to mind, I was just telling him thank you for everything that he's doing in my life and everything that he's done in my life. And there's seasons in my life where I have really, 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 really hard times, and really good times where I'm just like, God, thank you so much for just the peace in between and breaks in the storm. So I know that you might be going through a phase right now where, things are getting crazy, and, the bills are gonna come, and rent's coming, and work's, not happening, and food needs to be coming in constantly because we got kids in the house. And, maybe you're stuck at home with your husband, you guys are not on good terms right now. I wanted to just be able to come on here to let you know that everything that God makes and allows in our life is sometimes for us to step back and just see what are things that we need to change. And if we take it in that way, and if we take it in that mindset, God's able to work and do a lot of things in our life. And I wanted to start off with this verse. It's in 1 Corinthians 13:4, and you've probably heard this a lot before, especially if you've gotten married, you've heard this. So it says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it's not proud, it's not rude, it's not self-seeking, and it's not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, it always trusts, it always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there is prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be still. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For what we know in part, we prophesy in part. But when perfection comes, then perfect disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put childish ways behind me. And I want to stop there, because I just touched my face. See? This is why you have to be inside and just washing your hands all the time, because you want to touch everything. What I want to get to you out of this is, I want to ask you this. When you go to work, do you go to work because you want to, or because you have to? Because you have to. Okay. When you cook, do you cook because you want to, or because you have to? I cook because I have to, not because I want to. God knows I don't like to cook. You can ask somebody that was here yesterday, who was probably eating my food like, oh, this was so gross. Okay, I'm not the horrible, worst cook in the world, but I'm not the best either. But I do it because I love my family. So marriage and loving your husband is kind of the same way, or your wife, your kids, having patience. You do it not because you want to, because you have to. So when you have that mentality in your mind and in your heart that you do things because you have to, you kind of go over the part of where we're going to be pouting the whole time or having an attitude. Because when we get that mindset, we get kind of like this grit, like we got to do what we got to do. So I want you to focus on the love part of where it says, you know, it does not envy, it does not boast, it's not proud, and it's not rude. So this week when you're at home and you want to be rude because your kids are leaving their things on the floor, they're not listening, they're not cooperating with you with their homework, or your husband is driving you nuts, I want you to think about this part of the love. 1 Corinthians 3:13-4. Go back, read it and read it and read it and read it all over. If you have to put it on your board, if you have to put it on your mirror, remember those words, you know, and do it not because you want to, because nobody wants to be nice at this, you know, time right now when things are going crazy. You want to be frustrated and angry and upset, and not because you want to, because that's just probably how you feel. But it's not what we need to do right now, because it's just going to make things worse for you, for your husband, for your wife, for your kids. So let's do what we have to do, and know that all of this stuff written in love, like that's God's love for us. There's going to be hope. It's never going to end. He's going to be there for us. He's going to be faithful for us. He's going to come through for us. And he is never, ever, ever going to fail. And I'm looking at the TV, and I'm looking at the computer behind me. And I want to give a little story. I used to like dream of having a computer like that. Like, I've been married for 14 years. And just yesterday, my husband walks home with it, and he's about to start school next month. And he's a veteran. And with the program that he's doing, they told him, hey, you know, we'll supply the computer, we'll put it in your account. You know, we're going to pay for your schooling because you're a veteran, and pick a computer, but you have to have it before, obviously, we can give you the money. Obviously, we didn't have money to go buy a computer, especially I'm not working right now. So what happens? All of a sudden, from God knows where, somebody calls and says, hey, remember when you bought your house 3 years ago? Well, there was something that you were supposed to do that you didn't do, that now you get your reimbursement of the money you put down. And it was exactly what we needed to buy the computer for him to have it for school. And even God provided that. You found a way to provide it. And how can you say, well, it's because your husband was a veteran? Yes, he was a veteran. But how did God know years ago that this was going to fall into this place and this was going to fall into this place because we were going to need it at this time? Like, all of those steps were planned out and were put in place so my husband could have what he needed for school next month. And so I could have the desires of my heart to have a computer for our house that worked. And God's always provided that way along the lines. But I have had to learn to be patient. And I didn't learn that by just practicing. I had to learn that because I was in a situation where I was off of work for 8 months and in devastating pain for 8 months. And God allowed that in my life so I could be sitting here and pushing and talking about how God is faithful, because he is faithful, because I lived it for 8 months and I saw it for 8 months. And I'm here because even if it helps one person, just one person, for you to know that God's going to be there for you, that he's not going to fail you, that I promise you that this book right here that you see right in front of you, right here, has tons of promises that he's making to you if you just give him the time. It's not a coincidence that we all have to be in our homes and we all have to slow down. We all have to reevaluate how we're living. We all have to reevaluate what we're doing. We all have to reevaluate how is our relationship with ourselves, with God, with our husband, with our wife, with our children. Because now we're seeing it, because we're not on the go, 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 go. You know, I saw somebody post, now we can read books. Now we can spend time with our family. Now we can bake cupcakes for the first time in I don't know how many years. We can slow down and do these things, not because we chose to, but now because we're forced. You know, so don't allow God to have to put something in your life in order to force you to slow down. Say, God, I'll learn it on my own. I'll figure it out on my own. Just don't make me learn that lesson the hard way. Let's learn it right now by learning to do what we have to do, not because we want to, because we have to, because there has to be a change. Think about, what is it that you need to change? What is it that you're seeing that you don't like what's happening, that you don't like what you're doing, you don't like how this is happening, you don't like the relationship between your child and you, your teenager and you, your husband and you, your wife and you, your friends and you. Like, what can you sit back and think and say, what can I start doing differently? Not because I want to, because I could just stay in this bubble and not care about anybody. It's easy for me and I like it. I can stay in here. But is it healthy for me? Is it healthy for my kids? Is it healthy for my husband? Is it healthy for my wife? Like, what is it that needs to change in order for you to have the life that God wants you to have? Because the yoke that God wants on you is easy. It's not hard. It's not meant to hurt you. It's not meant to harm you or make you feel sad or make you feel angry or make you feel all these things. It's not for that. It's to make you have a better life. So what is it that you need to step back and think and change? And while you're in quarantine, you have the ability to do that. And as if God wants you to work on your faith, because money's not coming in right now, bills are not coming through right now, what is it that you need to work on? Faith in that He's going to provide, faith that He's going to be there for you. If it's because there's no food in your pantry, is it faith that God's going to come through? That if He has to bring food to your doorstep, He will do that? Because God knows He's done that for me multiple times where we had nothing to eat. So just think about those things. Is it where you have to forgive? Because that's what He's asking us to do, not because we want to, or He wants you to just forget about what they did to you, but because it's in your best interest. What is it? So I ask that God talk to you through this video today. If it's helping you out, please join me again for the next slap in the face that God gives me, because that's all I do is just share what God's putting in my heart and doing in my life. If it is, subscribe. If this helped you, share it, because it might be something that somebody needs to hear at this moment. All right, guys, I love you guys. God bless you guys. I hope that you guys have a good day today. I hope that today is different than yesterday and better than yesterday. I hope that God can give you peace in knowing that He's going to come through. Just be patient. And no matter how crazy it's out there, you're protected. And He has you just like this. All right, guys. I love you guys. God bless you guys. Have a good day.